Kalkalosh, Boker Or, Masechet Batra Daf Yomi Daf Kuflam Daf Aleph 138.1 says the Mishnah. How many? 130. 130. Okay. Haomer ish ploni yireshani bimkom sheyesh bat. If a person says this person is going to inherit me when he has a daughter, biti tirashani bimkom sheyesh ben, or my daughter is going to inherit when there's a boy. Lo amar klum. He didn't say anything. Why? Because he cannot change from a boy to a girl or from an stranger instead of the daughter. Right? But he made a condition against what's written in the Torah. Did you hear? You come and you say this person is going to inherit it instead of the daughter. Wallo. If he said it on somebody that's fitting to inherit him, it does work. But somebody that's not fitting to inherit him, it does not work. Says the Gemara, Ta'ama de'acher bimkom bat, ubat bimkom ben. Haben ben abanim, ubat ben abanot, tevarav kayamim. What does that mean? We already explained that according to Shtat Rabbi Yochanan Memruka, that's what I'm explaining. According to Rabbi Yochanan Memruka, it only helps if you're changing from a boy to a boy because they're on the same level, or a girl to another girl. But a girl, right, from the boys, meaning the boys are supposed to inherit. And he says, you know what? My daughter's inheriting everything. Why? She's the... It cannot. It has to be a matana. It cannot be a Yerusha. The same halacha for somebody else to the children. Doesn't matter whether it's boys or girls. Why? But somebody else, it doesn't work. Meaning it could only be somebody that's fitting to inherit. So therefore it's boy between the boys or girls between the girls. Okay? Ema Seifa. Let's see the Seifa. Right? We're almost done. Right? The Seifa says, Rabbi Yochanan Memruka Omer, Rabbi Yochanan Memruka says, Imamar al mi shera'ui liyorsho. If he comes and he says, right? He says, if he's going to say it on something that's fitting to inherit him, but it's going to be good. Hainu Tanakama, that's going to be the Tanakama. Now, if you're going to tell me, Rabbi Yochanan Memruka, I think even if it's in another place of the girl, and Bapim Komben, Vatanya, meaning like this, in our Mishnah, it already said, if you're going to say that the girl, exactly. So he says, if you're going to tell me that we learned Rabbi Yochanan Memruka Omer, Lo nechleku Abba v'Chachamim, when is the machloket between Abba and Chachamim? Al acher bimkom bat ubat bimkom ben, Shalom klum, that he didn't say anything. When is the machloket? Al ben abanim ubat ben abanot. She'Abba omer yirash, v'Chachamim omer yirash. So the first answer is exactly what you said. Meaning, we were never talking about a girl instead of boys. Because that, even Rabbi Yochanan Memruka doesn't hold with that. For sure it doesn't hold. Right? The second answer is, no, that means according to Tanakama, that was also machloket. Meaning, according to Tanakama, they held that even according to Rabbi Yochanan Memruka, the fact that a girl could inherit, you could give to a girl instead of a boy. That's according to Tanakama. Or another answer, he says, the entire thing is Rabbi Yochanan Memruka. But this is what it means to say. Didn't say anything. But it is going to be good if he says he's going to inherit everything. Rabbi Yochanan Omer, and that's what also Rava says, halacha is like Rabbi Yochanan ben Beroka. 2 dots. Okay? So he says now like this. Okay? We're in the middle, where it says Amar Rava. Okay? Amar Rava. We're on 4 lines from the bottom. Yes, 4 lines from the bottom. The end of the line. Amar Rava. What's the reason in Memruka? Go count 4 lines up. The end of the line. The end of the line. Amar Rava. Says Rava. What's my time and what's the reasoning of Rabbi Yochanan Memruka? Amar Ka. It says in the pasuk, "Vaya biyom anchilot banav." HaTorah natana neshul le'av lenchil lechol mi sheyirtzeh. The Torah is giving you permission that you're able to give a nachala to anybody that you want. So Amar Abaye says, "Hami lo yuchal levaker nafka." I thought that we learned that from lo yuchal levaker, which means that a father cannot come and change the bechor status. You can't just come and say, you know what, he's not a bechor anymore. You can't do that. What's going on then? Right? But the Shar Nechasim, yes. What's going on? So he says, there we need it for that which we learned. Abba Chanan says, name of Eliezer, Kuflam Amubet, 130b. What does it mean in the Pasuk when it says, you cannot come and change? Since it says, right? When it says, you say it's a dinu, it's a kavachomet. ומה פשוט שיופע כוחו שנוטל בראוי כמוחזק, התורה נתנה רשות לאב להנחיל לכל מי שירצה, בכל שהוא רק כוחו שאינו נוטל בראוי ומוחזק, לא כל שכן. Right? That the father could take away his חלק? תמולומה לא יוכל לבקר, which means this. We tried to make a קל וחומר. A child, when he inherits, does he inherit anything that was fitting for the father to inherit? Yes. What does that mean? whether it's muhzak, that the father already had it, or it's fitting to come. So, for example, let's say a person had property or something, and later on it was going to come back to him. 10 years later, the children, regular children, they still inherit that. Why? Because regular children inherit, whether it's muhzak, you have a chazakah on it right now, or rents it, or lends it, or it's interests, or all these other things that are going to come later on, right? That he bought a ticket now, but the lottery is only in another year, anything, whatever it is. So but also ra'ui. Ra'ui means fitting for it to come later on. A bechor only takes in that which is muhzak. He doesn't take in what's fitting to come. Meaning when you're dividing the property between the bechor and everybody else, the bechor only takes double portions in that which he already has a chazakah in it right now, not in something which is fitting to come later on. So because of that, says the Gemara, 1 second. If right now the regular children, they are stronger than the bechor, in what sense that they are going to inherit, whether something which is muhzak in their hands or something which is fitting to come, and you said that you're allowed to come and take from one child to give it to another child, so kal vachomer a bechor, that he doesn't have that much strength, because the bechor only takes something that he has right now. He cannot take something which is fitting. So kal vachomer then, if I wanted to take from the bechor and give it to a regular child, I'm allowed to. Says the Torah, lo yuchal vaker, you're not allowed to. Why? Because the Torah tells you you're not allowed to change from a bechor status to a regular status. That's what the pasuk is teaching you when it says lo yuchal vaker. So says the Gemara, v'yoman lo yuchal vaker, right? So why? So I don't need vayabi yom chilot banav then. So matamun, what is it coming to teach you? Vayabi yom chilot banav, then when you're going to give an inheritance to your children. So he says the opposite way around. Sheachol v'alodinu, we want to make a kavachomer. Just like a bechor that does not have a lot of strength, that he doesn't take ra'ui k'muchzak, and still the Torah says yuchal vaker. A pashut, you can't change from one to another. Meaning, go the other way around. The bechor doesn't have so much strength. He gets double portion because he's the bechor, but his double portion is not that strong because he doesn't take in something which is fitting. So if I cannot change from him to a regular child, kal vachomer then, all the more so, a regular child that he's strong, I cannot change from him to another child, from one regular child to another regular child. Talmud comes to teach you, the Torah gives you permission to give nachala to whoever you want. You decide it. But that's between one boy and another boy. Not the bechor. You cannot take away from the bechor. So Amar Bizrika, Amar Rabbi Mechanin, Amar Rabba, Talachazak, Rabbi Yochanan, and Ruka. So Amaleh Rabbi Abba says Rabbi Abba, Horra itman. Not halacha is like that, but rather horra. There's a difference between halacha. Halacha means that halacha, and we're always going. Horra means that's the way you're paskening. If somebody comes in front of you, not that you're going to teach that publicly. Meaning, many times there's halacha, which is halacha. You could come up there and you're going to say halacha is like this. It's halacha. Sometimes horra. Horra means I'm not going to mention halacha, but if you come in and ask me the question, this is halacha. I'm not going to mention it. I'm not going to speak about it. But if you come and ask me, this is what's going to happen. Okay. So b'may kami palgia. What is the machloket exactly? More savar halacha difa, more savar maseraf. Right? There's what's better, halacha or a case that happened. So many times one of them says, no, halacha is better. Why? Because if I say the halacha is like that, that's it. And we publicize it and halacha is like that. The other one says, when you have a case that's coming to your hands and this is what you're doing it, this is life. It's coming to life. So therefore that's better. So that's the machloket between them. So Tana Rabbanan, we learned in the Braita, we're never going to learn halacha, not from a limud, that means we're learning, or from a maaseh, from a story, until they tell you that it's halacha l'maaseh. Sha'al ve'amrulo, but if they ask and then they tell them, halacha l'maaseh, yelech v'yaseh maaseh, do the maaseh, uvilvad shelo yidameh, but don't start comparing one thing to another. Meaning, right away, do the action to show this is the halacha. So like what you said before, if you're going to tell me the halacha is the bamba is hadama or whatever, take the bamba right now. Buy bamba, bring it, let's go. Make the bracha. Show the maaseh. You understand? Meaning if they're going to come out, we're learning. So 1 second, not because we're learning something doesn't mean that that's halacha. Because remember, sometimes you're learning Gemara, and then when it comes halacha maaseh, sometimes change. And certain things change, and whether it's the right, and there's many aspects that could change halacha. So he says, what do you mean that you're not going to compare? The entire Torah would compare one thing to another. But we make a kesh all the time. Yeah, we start making no. This is what it means to say. Never compare one thing to another in trefot. The Tanya was learned in a bright and only trefot zudun. It was many times the trefa is not compared. Don't start being astonished. Right? You cut it from one place and it dies, and you cut it in another place and it lives. Meaning something incredible that when you have a terefa is an animal that's going to die within the year. You could come and you could have, right, the animal. You cut it here, it's going to die. You cut it there, and it's going to live. It all depends where you cut it. Sometimes it depends how much you cut, how much you didn't cut. Do you know that there was a famous story with the Rambam that they say that what happened with the Rambam is that there was a king that wanted to come and he told the Rambam that we're going to cut you into pieces and we're going to see if you live. What he did was the Rambam started taking a whole bunch of medicines and he taught one of his students where to cut him, which places exactly on the body where to cut, and then how to revive him. They did that to the other Goy doctor, and he died. They did it to the Rambam. When they did everything, they thought that's it. The guy is gone. He was able to revive him. Because it all depends where you cut the person, where they're able to revive. That's the deen of trefot. And that's with everything in life. Many times, you hit the button. You're 1 millimeter, one millimeter down. You miss the bullseye. You miss the point where it's the mamash. And that's in many, many different things, right? They teach that, whether it's in, even in, kung fu, all these things also, right? They teach you where to hit. These are pressure points. You hit here. Right here, you do nothing. You hit here, bullseye. Many times. And that's the same way that it is with the Torah, right? And the same way it is in everything. Somebody once said, what's the big deal? You're saying a tefillah, what's the big deal? One word, the other word. He says, no. Imagine you're going to come and you're going to write an email address, but you put the dot in the wrong place. It's not going to get to your destination. Because that one little tiny dot, even though you had everything else right, one little dot in the wrong place changes everything. Okay? So Amaleh Ravasi Rabbi Yochanan says Ravasi to Rabbi Yochanan. Ki Amaleh Morlan Alacha Hachi. When he said the Alacha is like that. Navi Maaseh, should we do the Alacha? Should we do the Maaseh? Amar La Tavdidu Adamino Lachon said, never do the Alacha until I tell you it's Halacha Lemaaseh. Halacha Lemaaseh means it's Halacha, and you do the Maaseh like that. So Amalu Rava Papa Ravuna Yeshua. When it comes to psak din in front of you, and I see a question, don't tear it up until you bring it in front of me. Why? That means, imagine right now, you get up psak din, you look at you, it's weird, what's going on here? Don't do anything until you bring it to me. Why? If I have a reason, I'm going to give it to you. If I don't have a reason, I can retract. After my death, don't rip it up as well. But don't learn from it. Don't rip it up, because maybe if I was there, I would be able to give you the reason, right? But don't learn from it. There's enla dayan mashena wrote. Since you don't know what's the reasoning, the dayan only has what his eyes see. Meaning, sometimes it happens, and you're saying, but I don't understand. Don't start asking questions after death. Why? Because he can't answer. If he was alive, he would have told you, you know why I said that? Because of A, because of B, because of C. If he's alive, you ask him, he's going to tell you. It could be that he'll bring you a proof, or it could be he'll retract. But if right now he's already after death, there's nothing what to do. So don't tear it up, because maybe he had a reason. But don't learn from it. Because really, you have all the details in front of you. This is what I have.